This video is just concrete evidence that I have no sense of self-preservation. Well, hello there, welcome back. Today I'm here to prove that we are truly living in the darkest timeline. I've been spending a lot of time on Twitter during this quarantine, and these last few days something made the rounds over there that just really proves that every day we stray further from God. I'm talking about Kissing the Coronavirus by MJ Edwards. No, you did not hear that wrong. Kissing the Coronavirus. Just let it sink in for a moment. And this fucking cover, man, oh boy. I mean, look at this cover. Oh boy, this is truly something else. I really love the attention to detail in this one because even though the title is Kissing the Coronavirus and this chick is kissing this guy in the cover, you know, apparently that wasn't enough to sell that this is the coronavirus, this full-grown adult man is the coronavirus, so they made him green and added the little pointy things, you know, that the coronavirus has. Brilliant. Since I was very bored, didn't know what to film this week, and apparently have no self-love, we are going to read this together. So buckle up, because you're in for a ride, my friend. She was supposed to cure the coronavirus. Instead, ... she fell in love with it. Why do I do this to myself? Every time she picked up the corona sample like a pulsating. Okay, so Homegirl is a scientist and she's been studying the coronavirus ever since the pandemic started. And so, you know, she hasn't had time for anything else, and so she hasn't had sex in a long time. And that's why getting the sample of the coronavirus is the only thing that kind of thrills her and makes her, you know, gets her turned on. Oh wow, I'm really invested in the psychology of this character. Despite the devastation the virus is causing around the globe, Alexa felt a rush of excitement every time she picked up the corona sample, like a pulsating, erect penis, desperate to unleash its devastation on anyone who touched it. How do you come up with that? How do you think coronavirus and then think erotica? How does your mind make that connection? Like, this metaphor doesn't even make sense because a penis doesn't unleash devastation. Well, okay, I guess they can have this one. Man, I am living for these descriptions. She rubbed her hand over her breast, her nipple hardening like a tic tac. Why would you do this? I'm never gonna be able to look at a TikTok the same now. I love the fact that when she gets very turned on, she describes it as a shock of electricity, like she'd set on a battery, as if that's how batteries work. Her puss is so wet that the lace glides across her skin like a fat man on a water slide. Why would you say that? She liked big, muscular men who looked like Rick statues, except with huge cocks rather than small ones. Jesus, why me? So deprived of the feeling of a hotman dog inside her lubricated pussy bun. There's no way this is serious. There's no way the person who wrote this wrote it seriously. There's no way. Like, the two characters who showed up until this point, other than, you know, coronavirus himself, because apparently he's a man, which does not surprise me in the slightest. But yeah, the two characters who showed up are named Dr. Ashington Ford and Dr. Gertley Chun. I don't even know how to say this. Gertley Chand. So Alexa, the main character, is part of this task force, you know, of scientists that are trying to find a cure for COVID. There were 4 scientists in this task force when the pandemic started, but 2 of them have died because of COVID. I love, you know, how much detail and backstory this little novella has. So now only Alexa and Dr. Gertley Chand are left, and Dr. Girdley-chan it's fine. Dr. Girdley-chan is Alexa's boss. I particularly like this bit that goes, then slowly the virus had spread across the globe, Asia, Europe, some other places, but most importantly and worryingly, America. Because fuck those other countries, am I right? It's when it gets to America that shit gets real. And Alexa is constantly thinking about having hate sex with Dr. Girdley-chan because she is not attracted to him, he is not her type. And apparently that's what having hate sex means. Having sex with someone you're not attracted to. Okay. She couldn't get over the mustache. She loved beards, and a mustache was only the start of a beard. Like micro penises are just the start of real penises. You need the rest for it to be truly meaningful. A+ comparison. This is God tier metaphor. The boss, of course, walked in on Alexa trying to, you know, pop the COVID sample in there, as one does. The science talk is amazing too, you know, it really shows how thorough the research the author did was. She tore open the box of samples and began running them on the sample meter. And it doesn't read like a tongue twister at all either. Each sample came up positive and each matched up with the results they had previously obtained from other samples they had sampled. Good writing. I love the fact that whenever Alexa grabs the COVID sample, she immediately gets very turned on by it, like just by touching it. And she always describes it as creamy and bubbling. As I said before, Alexa is part of this task force of scientists that are trying to find a cure for COVID. And they have this trial vaccine that is about to go out for human testing. And she is convinced that it needs more COVID in order to, you know, build the body's defenses and all that. So she gets the vaccine, you know, the one that they had up until that point. After Dr. Girdley-chan walks out of the lab and she grabs a sample of COVID and she adds a drop of COVID to the cure. And I really like how the author has this very subtle way to let us know that this character is very good and competent at her job. She only needed to add a drop. She was one of the best scientists around, so is confident a drop would be all it would take to make the vaccine perfect. As I said before, very subtle. This is my favorite bit. I'll do it, he said. Alexa gasped. Doctor, no! Alexa, please. Call me Bob. Alexa gasped. Bob, no! Dr. Girdley-chan just revealed to us that not only is he not going to contact the medical council to, you know, tell the vaccine is ready, but he's going to test it on himself because he has COVID. So he just, you know, got the vaccine himself and he became the coronavirus. I don't know either. And it was ... green. In fact, all of him was ... green. And he was covered in small green bumps, which sciencey people like Alexa called spike proteins. So Alexa asks the COVID man how Dr. Girdley-chan became COVID, and this is his answer. He had the virus. There were traces of the virus in the vaccine. Vast traces. Adding them together created more virus than a man could handle. I'm the result. Science, am I right? So COVID was getting closer to Alexa and she was very scared, but also turned on, which is important. But he told her that it's fine, you know, and he can get close to her because she is immune and she's had the virus this whole time. She is asymptomatic. And he also told her that the other scientists in the task force are dead because of her. You know, she gave them the virus. And she's handling it pretty well. I mean, she shed a tear there, but she's already thinking of fucking the virus, so can't be that bad. Also, may I just say that it's already 76% of this novella and they haven't fucked yet. Like, please get to it. Please get to it. This is torture. Oh my god. I'm gonna need a bath in holy water. Jesus Christ. The comparisons in this fucking book are unreal. His tongue so soft and hot, like a chunk of microwaved fish sloshing around inside her mouth. They bounced around like water balloons glistening in the summer sun. I cannot. His eyes were striking like a goat's, but without the sideways pupils. She felt his convulsing member against her waist. It was so long and warm and fat, like an arm without the bones. It swelled like a balloon being filled with helium, rising up, standing to command. Please, so he could thrust his wobbling member deep into her pocket of ecstasy. I'm gonna have to exercise my Kindle after I finish reading this. It was like an earthquake had hit a lab. I mean, this is Akamath territory. You can't just barge in like that. COVID granted like a thunderclap. He filled her with love lotion. If I had to read it, you have to listen to it too. Going what Alexa's worries. Which worries? She didn't have any. I mean, her only worry was getting the COVID sample into her vagina and getting a cure done. No more did she mourn Dr. Gertley Chund. She didn't really mourn him though, did she? Like, she shed a tear there. That was all. Missing was her aching to be savaged vaginally. She had listened to her heart and vagina and allowed herself to succumb to COVID's charm. She had ignored what her head had said, the dread, and instead she had embraced love. I hate it here. So yeah, they fact for a grand total of around 2 pages of this 16-page novella. And I feel cheated. So yeah, Dr. Gedlichan died, may he rest in peace, and his body became that of COVID. And, you know, even though COVID had killed all of her friends, Alexa she couldn't resist it, you know? She mourned them for a grand total of like 2 seconds, and then not only was she super turned on and had sex with COVID for a grand total of 2 pages, but she immediately fell in love with him. 10 out of 10. I also love how the author was so very thoughtful to include this about the author page that says, MJ Edwards. During the coronavirus pandemic of 2020, MJ Edwards turned her hand to writing, combining the 2 biggest parts of her life at that moment, the virus and sex. She hopes that you enjoyed this book. Any similarities to real-life situations are purely coincidental. You don't say? Hi, editing me here. Just popping in to say that someone bit me to it. Damn you, Katie! Katie from Rightness Katie Reads just posted a video on it, and she's actually a medical student, so this is gonna be interesting. I haven't watched it yet, but I am sure that it's gonna be amazing because Katie's videos are just always so good and I really like her content, so I'm gonna link it down below. And if by the time I post this, more people that I am subscribed to post videos on it as well, I'm gonna also link them down below because, you know, we can share. But yeah, I'm mentally scarred for the rest of my life, and I think I'll have to take at least like 5 showers to feel truly clean after this. So I hope you at least, you know, got some entertainment out of it. I've never done one of these videos before, you know, where I just read something along with you, and I'm not sure that this was done in a good manner, but I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, comment and subscribe if you feel like it, and as always, I'll see you around.